Hi, I'm Crystal and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to make a red sauce with crabs to serve over pasta. And I like to cook the red sauce for a few hours first. I learned how to make this recipe a couple of years ago. I went to a friend's birthday dinner at another friend's house and she had made something similar to this. And I thought, oh, I gotta try that at home. It's so yummy. So here where we live in New Jersey, in the summertime, blue claw crabs are really popular. So last summer we caught a bunch of blue claw crabs when our friend Walt took us out on his crab boat. And some of them we cleaned and steamed and then I froze them. So I want to use those up before we start crabbing and fishing this season. And it's a little chilly here today in New Jersey, so I thought this would be great for dinner tonight. So what I'm going to do is to start out with, I'm going to cook in my my new Dutch oven pan on the stovetop. I'm going to start the red sauce. And it's going to be a large 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, and 6-ounce can of tomato paste. So you've got your crushed tomatoes, your tomato sauce, your tomato paste. And before I add all the tomatoes, I'm going to chop and saute in extra virgin olive oil half of a clove of a elephant garlic, and I'll do a small yellow onion. So I'll saute that. I'll add the tomatoes. I'm going to add 1 bottle of clam juice, and this is a pure, all-natural, ready-to-use clam juice from Bar Harbor. It doesn't matter really what type you have. 1 bottle of clam juice really intensifies the flavor. It's just really delicious. I'll add a little bit of salt, maybe like a half a teaspoon, a few cranks from my black pepper grinder, and I'll add 2 bay leaves, and then I'll let it start coming to a boil, and then I'll add however many pieces of crab legs and or frozen crab I have in the freezer that'll kind of fit in this pot. And I will show you each step of the way so that you can make it at home if you want. It's actually pretty easy. So let's get started. All right, so I've preheated my Dutch oven and I added a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Now I'm going to saute the onion. I'll leave that in for just a minute or two before I add the garlic. Might need to add a little bit more olive oil. There we go. I tried making this once without the clam juice. It just didn't turn out as good, so definitely make sure you use the clam juice. Okay, I just added the garlic. Stir these up a little bit. Alright, and now our onion is starting to brown, so I'm going to go ahead and add the tomatoes and the spices and everything else. You'll see how easy this is to make. I turned the heat down a little bit because I don't need this bubbling all over the place. Okay, there we go. I turned it down to a simmer now. This is the tomato sauce. First was the diced tomatoes. Now I'm adding the tomato sauce. Then I'll do the tomato paste. And I think I might add 1 more can of tomato sauce. Let me just see what the quantity is here. Once I get done, we'll see. Okay. Now I'm going to add the clam juice, and I just kind of pour a little bit in my tomato can so I can kind of rinse out the inside of my tomato cans. Okay, that one. Kind of swish it around. All right, there's my clam juice. Then I have my 2 bay leaves, a few cranks of the black pepper grinder, and about a half a teaspoon of salt. Get all that in there. Okay. I'm going to gently stir it up. Okay. And now I have my frozen crabs. So here we go. This one was not steamed. I've just broken it in half, but they're all cleaned. These two were steamed. And these little legs, there's really no meat in them, but I'm gonna throw them in because they're packed with flavor. And really, that's what I'm going for here, is the flavor punch. I'll leave those little couple of pieces out. Now I'm just gonna stir this. And now, if we really wanted to eat a lot of crab with a little bit of sauce, I would add more crab. But today, I'm just really going for a little bit of crab, but I want my red sauce to have that yummy crab flavor. So I put a total of 3 crabs in there, broken in half, and I still have a few more that in the freezer that I can cook at another time. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is, this is the easy part, put the lid on and let this puppy simmer for 3 hours or so, 3.5 hours, stir it periodically, and then it'll be good to go. I'll eat it with pasta later. I wanted to show you what the sauce looks like after it's been simmering for almost 4 hours on the stovetop. The crabs are all cooked and it smells really good. And the sauce has thickened a little bit. And I think it's ready to go. So my tomato sauce and crab combination has been simmering on the stove for almost 4 hours. It smells heavenly here. I stirred it about every hour just to make sure that everything was mixed, it wasn't sticking to the bottom, and it wasn't. So then towards the end, I cooked 1 box of rotini pasta, and I want to show you now what it looks like. I also like to have my pasta a little bit spicy. So here you can see I've got, my crab in there. The red sauce, I had a little taste of it before I finished it on the stovetop just to make sure it didn't need any other spices. But anyway, I like to have mine a little bit spicy. And I would normally add this to the dish, except my husband doesn't like it as spicy. So I did put just like a tiny little pinch, but I'm gonna add a little bit of red chili pepper flakes. I keep a little container of them on my kitchen countertop. I'm gonna add that to the top of my dish before I stir it up and taste it. And I'm not gonna be able to eat the crab right away because this just came out of the pot, so it's gonna be really hot. But I'm gonna go ahead and just take a bite of pasta with the sauce. And then once the crab cools down a little bit, I'll be able to pick the crab and eat the crab meat. So let's see. Let me get a nice little bite here so I can give you the final verdict here. That is just delicious. It has a wonderful flavor. And I cooked my pasta al dente, which I love. And the red sauce tastes very complex. And it has the yummy flavor of the crab. I mean, it's just delicious. So I hope you'll try this at home. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a good evening.